Hi, and welcome to Tutorial 4, Importing and Using Lab Samples. This tutorial will show you how to import electronic lab analyses of feeds into NittanyCow, and then apply those values to feeds in a ration. As you view this tutorial, you may want to pause the video so that you can follow along on your computer, and you can always watch this tutorial again until you are comfortable with the topics that are covered. For more information on anything you see here, please visit our website, www.NittanyCow.com. Many dairy operations rely on lab analyses of specific feeds to formulate their rations. NittanyCow allows users to upload this information directly into their rations, rather than enter in all the nutrient values by hand. To accomplish this, your lab will need to provide you with a text file output of your feed analyses. Note that not all labs will provide a compatible format for uploading analyses into NittanyCow. You will need to check with your lab to see if they can provide a usable format. Currently, NittanyCow provides compatibility with analyses provided by Cumberland Valley Analytical Services, Dairyland, and Dairy One. If you have a text file lab analysis that is currently not supported by NittanyCow, please contact the NittanyCow Help Desk so that we can create compatibility for you. Using lab data in NittanyCow is a two-step process. First, we will need to upload the data into NittanyCow, and then we will need to import the data into a working ration. We see here an existing ration, and I would like to use my lab's analysis for corn silage, rather than relying on the default values provided by NittanyCow. First, go to Manage Feeds in the main menu, and select the Import Lab Sample option. From the Open window, be sure to select all files from the drop-down menu at the bottom of the window. Then find the appropriate text file containing your lab analysis. Once this file is selected, click Open. NittanyCow will now inform you that your import was successful. Now that we know the data has been uploaded into NittanyCow, it's time to use that data in a ration. Since I want to use the analysis for corn silage, I right-click on corn silage and select the Use Lab Sample option. In the Lab Samples window, it shows the current nutrient profile for this feed at the top, and then a list of available lab samples below. If you don't see your analysis in the list, select All from the Client menu at the bottom of the window. Once I have found the lab analysis I wish to use, I put a check mark next to that feed and click OK. NittanyCow now returns to the ration. Notice that values that were provided by the lab analysis have now changed. For any nutrient fields for which the analysis did not provide data, NittanyCow will retain the default or previous values for that feed. For example, in this case, notice that NittanyCow has provided data for NDF fiber length, even though the lab analysis obviously does not provide this data. These are default values provided by NittanyCow based on the feed selection I made when I added this corn silage from the standard feeds list. The first time you use this function, it's a good idea to check the values in all the worksheets, so you can be confident that the data is updating correctly. Once this is done, customize the feed name to distinguish it from the standard feeds. The last step in the process is to save this feed to user feeds, so that I can use my customized silage in other rations. As we saw in Tutorial 3, we simply right-click on the feed and select Copy to User Feeds. This feed, complete with the lab-adjusted nutrient profile, is now available for use in other rations. Now that the lab sample has been applied to a feed and saved in user feeds, it's a good idea to delete the data from the lab sample list. This is discussed in more detail in Tutorial 10, but for now, just note that it helps to keep things organized and improves the function of NittanyCow to delete outdated or applied lab samples that have already been saved in user feeds. To delete a lab sample, select Manage Feeds from the main menu, then select Lab Samples. In the Lab Samples window, highlight the sample you wish to delete with a single click, then select Feeds, Delete Selected Feed. NittanyCow will ask for verification, then click Yes to permanently delete this lab sample. Please note that you will not lose any of the data that was saved to the user feeds list. This concludes Tutorial 4. For more information, please consult the NittanyCow help file and other NittanyCow tutorials, or contact NittanyCow customer support to ask more questions.